What is your life?
My honor is my life.
What is your craft?
My craft is death.
What is the story of Space Marine? Space Marine is set some 100 years after the first game's events and sees Captain Titus, now voiced by Vikings and taken star Clive Standen, return to his chapter after spending time away. Titus's exploits in the original game saw him arrested on charges of heresy by the Inquisition. After being cleared of that crime, Titus underwent the Rubicon Primaris during his time away, which transformed him from the Marine we previously saw him as to a faster, stronger, and taller warrior called a Primaris Space Marine. Although cleared of heresy, the Ultramarines chapter is suspicious of the former captain, and as such Titus has been demoted to lieutenant in Space Marine. During Lieutenant Titus's absence, Primarch Robot Gilliman has returned from his deathbed to lead the Ultramarines in a war against the hive mind swarms of insectoid Tyranids, calling on the new Primaris Space Marines to end the threat. The galaxy is in turmoil and humanity's future hangs in the balance after the fortress world of Cadia is destroyed, and a giant warp rift has torn the galaxy in two, twisting time and space. Along with his battle brothers Charon and Gadriel, Titus will take the fight to the Tyranid swarms and servants of chaos in the name of the Emperor. What type of game is Space Marine 2? Like its predecessor, Warhammer, Space Marine is a third-person action game, offering you a chance to embody the unwavering brutality of the Emperor's greatest warriors to protect humanity from the untold horrors of the galaxy. But while the first game focused on the orcs, the ravenous Tyranids are the primary foes this time around. If Space Marine follows the same concept as its forebear, its main campaign will likely follow Lieutenant Titus's story over a number of linear missions filled with enemies to slaughter and secrets to find. From the gameplay we've already seen, there will be a healthy, or unhealthy if you're a Tyranid, mix of ranged and melee combat with futuristic weaponry found in the Warhammer K universe. Chainswords, bolters, meltaguns, and more. Looking at some of the gameplay trailers, we'll have execution abilities at our disposal, along with a parrying system. Saber is developing this sequel in its Swarm engine, so expect to see the Tyranids swarming in large numbers as we cut our way to victory. We've only seen a few Tyranid varieties on screen so far, but there are plenty of biomorphs in the Hive's arsenal, so there should be a good degree of enemy variety too, especially when you add in the forces on Chaos too. Throughout the story, Lieutenant Titus is accompanied by his battle brothers Cha Iron and Gadriel, who can either be AI-controlled or helmed by other players, so we expect squad mechanics to play a role as well. You'll need to lay down covering fire, revive your allies, and charge the enemy in brutal battles. Think Gears of War, but somehow even more over the top. Does Space Marine have multiplayer? It doesn't look like Space Marine will have a competitive multiplayer game mode like the original Space Marine game. Instead, Saber has added multiplayer co-op for up to 3 players in the game's main campaign. Each player will control Titus Charon and Gadriel, but it's currently unclear whether progress will carry over for all players or only advance the host's game. Space Marine on the Xbox had a fantastic competitive multiplayer mode, which pitted teams of Space Marines against Chaos Space Marines in rounds of attrition and domination. A 4-player Horde mode was added later as DLC. With Saber's experience with co-op multiplayer in games like World War Z, it comes as no surprise that the studio has chosen to focus on that for Space Marine. But it would be great to see competitive multiplayer return to the series at a later date. Space Marine trailers. Focus Entertainment revealed Space Marine during the Game Awards, offering us our first glimpse of the returning Titus via a cinematic trailer. The short video shows several members of the Imperial Guard being saved by the badass Ultramarines as they're about to be overrun by a swarm of Tyranids. Yes, it's as cool as it sounds. Around 6 months after the game's reveal, Saber gave us a behind-the-scenes look at Space Marine, as well as an introduction to the voice of Lieutenant Titus Clive Standen. There wasn't much, but there were a few snippets of in-game footage shown. Focus Entertainment returned to the Game Awards in 2022 to drop the official gameplay trailer for Space Marine. In it, we got a look at the brutal third-person action as Titus and his battle brothers cut through hordes of Tyranids and showcased the might of the Ultramarines. Following the gameplay reveal, Focus gave us our first look at Space Marines co-op during Summer Game Fest. Check it out to see Titus Charon and Gadriel demonstrate why taking on 3 capable Ultramarines isn't such a good idea.
My pledge is eternal service.